To create an equipment checklist, you're going to select Program Administration, Equipment Checklist. Next, you will select Create. You will enter the name of your checklist. Then you will select your checklist type. Next, you will create a schedule. On this screen, you will be required to select scheduling options. The default is On Demand. On Demand tells the system that you do not want to schedule. You just want to do these checklists at your will. If you select Allow Event to be completed past the due date, or treat as late, this will give you two more options. You will need to schedule the event based on the completion date, or schedule the next event based on the scheduled date. The Treat as Late option tells the system that although there might be a due date, you can go beyond the due date, or that the inspector can do a makeup checklist. Require the events to be completed by their due date. Treat as Missed tells the software there is a definite due date and they cannot go beyond this due date. Next, you will select the frequency interval. As you can see, the next event date populates. Select OK. If you should choose, you can select to assign a default user. This default user is the person who is responsible for completing the checklists. From here, you would select the drop-down and select the name of the user, or type in that user's name, and select OK. Next, you will associate a product model. You will scroll through the list and find the product type you're looking for. From the product models listed, you can select one product model, or you can select multiple product models. As long as these product models have the same checklist questions, you could add 1 or you can add 100. Next, select OK. You will then associate areas. You can select one area, or you could select multiple areas. And select OK. As you can see, there is a box down here that says Apply to all areas. What this means when selecting is that it will apply to all areas that you currently have in the system and any areas that you might add at a later time. The software will allow you to import checklists that are predefined by the software, or you can create an organic checklist. For this example, we are going to create our own unique checklist. The first thing we're going to have to do is create a category. Selecting this plus sign on the left will allow us to create our first category. We will enter the category name and select OK. As you can see, the first question populates. The question type gives us a variety of responses for the user. So if you want this question to be yes, no, or pass, fail, you have the option of having a numeric question, which means that the inspector will have to give you a numerical value back. Free text means that the inspector is just going to type in whatever answer they give. You can also create a drop-down list, and you can have 3 or 5-star question values. For this example, we're going to use pass, fail for the first question. You will notice that the checkboxes next to required question and auto-fill question populate. Having this question required means that the person who is doing the inspection is required to answer this question. They cannot skip it. If we unselect this box, when they're doing their inspection, they have the option to skip the question. Auto-fail with a required question means that even if they fail this question, they'll still be required to answer this question and all subsequent questions. Now we're going to type in our question. Adding a nested question will allow us to get more information based on what the user's response. Here, if I was to add a nested question and to make it free text, also making it required, this question is going to display on fail. So if the inspector says that they're going to fail this question and the extinguisher is not in its designated place, I'm going to ask them to give me more details. This will require them to give me more details. To add another question, we will select Add a Question. We will select the response type that we want. Here, I'm going to select Yes or No, and I'll make this question required. I'll type in the question, scroll down, and on this question I also want more details. Can add another question. And make it required. If you select File Upload, you can attach a picture that will show up on the mobile device when the inspector is completing the inspection. At the end of the checklist, you will scroll all the way up to the top and select Save. Selecting Back will operate as an autosave. You have now completed creating a checklist.